Rahul grew up understanding the exact cost of survival. His childhood was defined by a leaking roof, cracked walls, and the anxiety of poverty. Pooja, on the other hand, was insulated by the city, educated, secure, and completely untouched by that kind of financial desperation. When they met in college, Rahul operated under a severe illusion about how value worked. He believed that sacrifice was a currency. He would empty his pockets to buy her a gift, skipping meals and going to sleep hungry, convinced his physical deprivation proved his worth. For a while, Pooja validated this math. She assured him that bank balances didn't matter. She told him that his affection, his complete honesty, and his devotion were all she required. Then graduation hit, and the academic bubble burst. The professional world does not accept affection as legal tender. It demands tangible economic output, and when Rahul knocked on doors, the market gave him a uniform answer. He lacked experience, and therefore, he lacked value. Their paths split rapidly. While Rahul was absorbing daily professional rejections and watching his home life deteriorate, Pooja's family was actively brokering her future, arranging a marriage with a suitor who already possessed wealth, status, and a lucrative career. Pooja called Rahul for a meeting, but her voice had lost all its warmth. She outlined the logistics. She was marrying the man her parents chose, because pure emotion, no matter how genuine, cannot pay a mortgage or sustain a household. Look at the scale. In a sheltered college campus, good intentions seem heavy, but the moment the raw demands of adult economic reality are slammed down onto the opposite side, those intentions lose all leverage. Without tangible socioeconomic value, affection is mathematically bankrupt. For Rahul, Pooja represented the single point of validation in a life otherwise defined by scarcity. When she left, it created an absolute psychological vacuum. But he didn't collapse into self-pity. He made a conscious, strategic pivot, killing the identity of the romantic boy who loved too much, and began treating his own existence as a strict engineering project, one that required undeniable, measurable proof of worth. The metrics of his new routine were brutal. He traded sleep for relentless study. He ignored hunger. He used every ounce of capacity into preparing for one of the most punishing government examinations in the country. The people around him mocked the effort. Society naturally guards its hierarchies, and the neighborhood laughed at the idea of a poor boy trying to scale that kind of vertical ladder. Rahul's response was absolute isolation. He shut out the noise entirely. True upward mobility rarely starts from a place of comfort. It often requires taking intense external humiliation, stripping it of its emotional sting, and burning it as a hyper-focused, isolated fuel source. Value creation is a grinding, invisible process. For years, there was no applause, no recognition, just quiet rooms, compounding effort, and the slow accumulation of competence. Then, the compounding effort yielded a result. Rahul cleared the exam. He secured a top-tier government position, bypassing thousands of competitors. This graph tracks societal value. After years of flatlining, he hits the trigger point, acquiring the wealth and respect he was denied. But external success completes only half the equation. The graph morphs, revealing a jagged, open loop in his psychology, tied to past rejection. Establishing a career secures your future, but psychological closure requires something highly specific. It demands that you confront the exact source of your original devaluation, but this time you do it from an unassailable position of power. Months later, an invitation arrived. Rahul stepped into a wildly expensive, brightly lit wedding canopy filled with the city's elite. It was Pooja's wedding. She was sitting in the center of the stage in her bridal dress. When she looked up and her eyes locked onto his, the atmosphere instantly froze. For her, the lights, the music, and the celebration effectively ceased to exist. You could see the rapid internal collapse. Her past indifference shattered into shock, dissolved into deep regret, and finally settled into a panicked, unspoken question. Why are you here? Rahul didn't display an ounce of anger. He didn't make a scene to ruin her day. He simply walked up, offered a faint smile, and told her he just wanted to observe objectively whether she was actually happy. Her eyes filled with tears, and she tried to apologize, confessing she had misjudged him. Rahul cut her off. He told her she had made the exact right choice back then. because at that time, he had absolutely nothing of value to offer her. Look at how power operates here. You don't regain control by forcing an apology. You regain it by rationalizing their rejection, stripping away emotional attachment, and reversing the flow of influence, leaving them drained of leverage. Looking at the imposing figure he had become, Pooja whispered that he had everything now. Rahul looked at her and agreed. He had absolutely everything, except her. A few seconds of silence hung in the air. Then Rahul turned around and walked away. He never looked back. He didn't execute a grand, theatrical revenge plot. He didn't need to. His victory was simply the quiet, lethal exhibition of exactly what she had thrown away, presented at its highest possible market price. Life will occasionally force you to endure agonizing losses, but sometimes losing the thing you desperately love is the precise operational requirement to build a level of self-reliance that no longer requires external permission. The highest form of victory doesn't require destroying the people who hurt you. It requires elevating your own worth to such an undeniable level that the people who discarded you are forced to live with the permanent, unfixable math of their miscalculation.